Hi, good morning, everybody. It's Mr. Rader. Today, this is a lesson for economics. We're going to be working on the Quality of Life Innovations proposal on either April 16th or April 22nd, 2020. Just to briefly address why there are two dates on the PowerPoint, this lesson will be given to the students who are going to be entering the competition on April 16th. And for students who are not entering the competition, they will have this lesson on April 22nd. So the purpose of this lesson is to discuss the purpose of the conclusion paper and to help you think through how you might write your conclusion paper over the next 2 days. First question we have to consider is, how do we target our conclusions for the judges at the Working in Support of Education Foundation? Or for those of you not entering the competition, how do you target your conclusions for me? All right. So the conclusion should really be done by April 20th for those who are entering the competition, and by April 24th for students who are not entering the competition. So to get you thinking about the purpose of conclusions, think about your favorite book, whether it be a novel or work of nonfiction. What was it about the ending of the book that really resonated with you, that made you walk away and wanting to have conversations with people about that book? The reason why I want to start off with the question, thinking about the purpose of any good book, is when we're looking at your proposal, it really is a portfolio. It's a portfolio of the hard work that you've done throughout the year. And we really want to make sure that you tie together all of the major loose ends in that book so that the story you tell will really get the attention of the judges, for those of you going into the competition. Okay, so this is going to be another opportunity for us to do some big picture thinking. So we're going to be looking at the table of contents in a few days. And this is really going to be your second page in your proposal after your title. And it's going to be the way in which you organize your final portfolio for submission of this proposal. The only paper in this list that we have not done yet as a class is the summary paper. That will be the very last paper that we do in the proposal. And for those of you that are not entering the competition, you would have had the lesson on the summary paper 2 days ago. Okay, so we've done the background paper. We've done the research and analysis. That is the 3-paragraph narrative paper, and then the 2 paragraphs of data analysis, along with all of your charts, descriptive tables, and survey data that would be in the appendices. At this point, the recommendation should be done. Implementation and financial implications. Those of you who are entering the competition, make sure you read the comments very carefully on your paper so that you know how to revise your recommendation papers moving forward. In the conclusion, you'll notice it's only one page. And for several of you, even those of you entering the competition, it may only be a paragraph. The purpose of the conclusion is to tie everything together in a way that is brief and that is, in fact, succinct. At this point, all of the appendices should be done. So if you have not created the pages yet for your petition and for your website, you should do so ASAP. And you just create screenshots from that and you'll hyperlink them in your paper. If you decided not to do the website, because you're not entering the competition, that's perfectly okay. You will not have that appendix in your final proposal. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the 3 parts of the conclusion, and we're going to look at 2 samples from former students, both of which did have competitive proposals, one of which was a finalist, and the other student was a semi-finalist in the competition a couple of years ago. Okay, so here's what you need to be able to do. Part A, how would your recommendation impact the quality of life? So you want to be as specific and targeted as you can. Are you helping out a particular demographic? Are you helping out all city residents? Is it something that will affect their lives in a meaningful way? You want to be able to explain how you're going to benefit the quality of life. If we were to try to extend your project for other communities or other cities and states around the country, what might be some of those implications? So how might others be able to take your really good idea and replicate it for their own neighborhoods or their own cities or states around the world? It's basically thinking now going from micro and taking it to the macro level. And for those of you who are entering the competition, Part C will be really important. So whatever parts of your recommendation that you've already implemented, whether that be writing letters to school officials, elected officials, designing particular plans, setting up PTA meetings, whatever it is you might want to do, you want to be able to describe any evidence that you have of a possible beneficial impact on the quality of life in your community. And if you were unable to do so, and in many cases with the implementation, the WISE Foundation understands that because of the switch to remote learning, it will be very hard to really fully implement your recommendation ideas. What might be some results that you could see for the quality of life? So really the focus is going to be on parts A and B as it relates to the conclusion for this year. If you have any evidence, though, of implementation you've already done, so I know for a fact at least one of you has done clear implementation so far. I was actually planning on giving a presentation before we went remote. You just want to talk about the evidence of what you have for that. Okay, so just to be very clear, this is a persuasive proposal, so you want to go beyond some of these statements here. So for example, don't just tell us what your topic is. So like my quality of life topic is about the environment. Oh, okay, that's cool. So what? Like, how are you going to help the environment with your idea? My recommendation is going to make a positive impact on the community. Okay, how? Who specifically are you planning to help and why do you think it's going to work? Okay, so this is the conclusion from the proposal schools to gyms. As you'll notice, it's one paragraph, and it ties together all the key different components of the quality of life proposal. The student clearly explains why the topic is a quality of life issue, what their plan is. They link it to their website here. The stars indicate that it's the name of our school. Remember, especially for those you entering the competition, you have to take out all references to our school in your final proposals. So you can use stars. It's a very easy way to take out any references to our school. And that is one sample. The second sample is a little longer. This was also from a student who advanced in the competition. And again, they speak to the same thing, like what the general topic is about, what they learned a little bit from their field research and their background papers, along with an interview that they had with their expert from the first semester, and then a follow-up email with that particular expert. And then just to really end, you want to consider the relationship of all the individual papers in the proposal itself and the conclusion. Remember, the conclusion at the end of the day is really designed to tie everything together. So this is the Google document that you will see. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to read the three parts, the conclusion and the sample conclusion. And I'm going to ask you to explain how the student addressed parts A, B, and C as comments in your document. The second sample at the conclusion is intended as reference material. You will not need to add any notes to the margins unless you wish to do so. Okay, so that brings an end to this mini introduction on the conclusion lesson. You will have 2 days to work on the conclusion paper itself. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, and I hope you all have an enjoyable day. All right, take care.